Hey, we're Saints. Father Chris here. Welcome to our crucifixional life stream. Glad to have you beautiful people with us here with my bro, Deacon Greg. What's happening? How are you? How was the weekend? What's going on?
Hi.
I need to ask you better questions so you can get your yeah in.
No, I think it was perfect what you asked. My weekend was nice. How was your weekend?
It was good.
That's good.
Had a little pool time. We had to do some visitations. I'm sick, and people are people are always sick, but we do our best to minister. So other than that, it was great. Got to hang. All my chitlins is home. They're in the house. So I said to them, I'll tell you the story later. We were at dinner a few nights ago and, talking about gratitude. And I was like, dude, this is not going to be the last time forever, but it's one of the few times going forward where everyone that should be under my roof is under my roof, because my kids are grown and they're out there conquering the world and doing all that kind of stuff. And I love it, but it was like, wow, this was fun. Anyways.
That's awesome. If you ever get lonely and want kids in your house again, I can send mine.
I'll take them. They're so fun. All right, so let's get after it today. I was thinking, excuse me, in the gratitude, negativity, anger, we've talked about it a lot in the past, but I've been doing a lot of research and reading and studying, and it's just kind of fresh in my brain. So I said, let's just do it. But what I discovered was, so we always, and you and I too, we're guilty of it. We all tend to say, the internet is so negative and, putting all that filth in our mind and, negativity. And if it's true, like, remember we did a sermon a few weeks ago, like we grabbed headlines from, news media outlets and they were all like, I forgot the number. We did it here too, didn't we? Anyways.
No, we talked about the comments.
The comments, yes. So the comments were negative. The headlines from the news outlets were like, literally every other one was murder or dies or death or, like chaos going on there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fair. But I was thinking about something else too, especially as I've been studying, don't laugh, but neuroscience and brain chemistry and brain structure a little bit. And though I'm not an expert, never will be, I have learned some funny things, interesting things actually. And one of them is that the part of our brain that is designed to keep us safe is called the amygdala, right? So it's the fear factory. It's the place that senses, all this kind of danger. Like, not to be too silly, but it developed, and evolved over the years that if we were running around in the woods, our ancestors running around the woods and there was the lion or a tiger coming to eat them, the amygdala is keeping everybody looking sharp, what's going on, where the danger, whatever. So kind of by definition, it is self-preservative, it's protective, and it is negative, right? It's looking for negative information.
It's a spidey sense.
Kind of, yeah. And so with all of that being said, I should have seen that one coming. So with all of that rambling about the amygdala, it's also like we've got to be mindful of our biology, that we in this world, that we are out there still trying to take care of ourselves and be, safe and avoid danger and monsters. So it's the biology of it. And the second part is we also have to be mindful that we've got to control our minds with the rest of the stuff we started with, the garbage of the internet and the news media and all the rest of that kind of stuff.
Without question. The only thing that we can control is ourselves. We can't control what the internet's doing. The internet is going to internet, and the internet tends towards negativity. But we can control how we consume that, how we interpret that, and then what we do with that. That's us. So what do we do?
Well, let's talk about some things. I was thinking first, like, the epistle, St. Paul's first epistle to Corinth, 1 Corinthians. There's some spats, disputes going on, strife. He uses this word eddies, like division, divisive strife, fighting, basically. They were probably under assault, from theological perspectives, whatever. So he gets in chapter 2, he talks to them like, we, meaning Paul and his co-apostles, not necessarily the Corinthians, we have the mind of Christ. And then he says to them, like, I'm going to feed you with solid food, but you're not ready, right? So, I know you have that text, right? Let's read it. Or you want to read it? I'll do it if you want me to.
Go for it.
But I, brethren, could not address you as spiritual men, but as men of the flesh, as babes in Christ. I fed you with milk, not with solid food, for you were not ready for it. And even yet you are not ready. For you are still of the flesh. For while there is jealousy and strife among you, are you not of the flesh and behaving like ordinary men? And there's that word strife, is that Greek word I was talking about, eddies, strife, fighting. Like it's, you know. So, I mean, what do you see there? I mean, what's he talking about, that really, well, what's he talking about in the context of first century Corinth?
Well, within the context of first century Corinth, I mean, there's all of the divisions that were going on within the battle over Jew-Gentile and how are they coming together, who's eating what. I mean, Paul talks a lot about food in 1 Corinthians. It always makes me hungry when I read it. But he talks about food offered to idols and not drawing your brothers away. But there's clearly, because he keeps talking about that word Aries throughout the chapter, this strife between the community at large. That Corinthian community is divided. Mm-hmm. And they're trying to figure out their way through. They're trying to figure out what is the path that they're supposed to follow.
Yeah. And it seemed to me, hearing those verses, that he wanted to give them more.
Yeah, but they're not ready for it.
They're not ready because they're fighting.
Yeah, because you can't accept what you aren't prepared for. Like, we're talking about solid food and milk. I mean, Paul is talking about solid food and milk. You can't give your kids solid food until they're really ready to start eating that solid food. You can't, really do that. You have to prepare them. You have to get them ready. You have to take the baby steps. And Gerber has their whole line of different things that the kids can eat now, and it's all expensive, and get them ready to be able to eat that solid food. But it's the same thing with the mind within the context of what we're talking about. You have to be prepared. Like my daughter, we were talking, a few minutes ago about controlling your mind. Like my daughter doesn't know how to do that. If a thought comes in, it comes out of her mouth. We have to train her how to move beyond that, how to really learn what she's doing and take control of her own actions. That, like, your brother telling you something didn't make you do something that you're not supposed to do. You still made the conscious choice. You still made that choice to do what you're not supposed to do. You gotta be trained for it. You just gotta learn it.
Yeah, that's a big one too. I like that you said that they've got to train it for it. Yeah, I mean, nobody comes out of the womb fully formed, right? Like ready to go. Some of us at 52 still ain't fully formed.
I still want to know what I'm going to be when I grow up.
I know. Well, but that's an interesting thing. Brain health, just on a quick aside, requires continual learning, lifelong learning. Mm-hmm. When people stop learning, did you know the Pew Research Institute just did a study, I think in 2024 or 2023, I don't remember, that most Americans, and I don't remember the exact percentage, but like ridiculously high, read less than one book a year?
I believe that.
Yeah. I mean, but what is that? Anyways, all right.
No one's out there trying to actively learn. Everyone thinks that, like what we were talking about last week, they know it all, right? I mean, everyone's opinions are self-referential because they're not out there expanding what their opinions are. They're not out there learning more. Paul's Corinthians were fighting because they were convinced they knew what was up. They got a little bit and they said, all right, we got it all.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what happens. Boy, we took this in a nice rabbit hole, but
sorry.
No, because it's great. Like, because what are we doing? People don't read books, but they read blogs.
Yeah.
Now, what's interesting to me, I read this somewhere. You know how blogs will now tell you 3-minute read or 4-minute read?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They'll tell you how long you're looking at, which that's kind of crazy too. Just read it. Anyways. So in your 3 minutes, an author I was reading, his name is Stephen Kotler. He's big into neurochemistry and neuroscience, the art of flow. He's written a ton of books. I mean, really, really fascinating man. And in his book, Art of Impossible, he said, and I'm probably going to butcher it, so forgive, but if you read a blog post that I write, it takes you about 3 minutes. That's about 3 days of my time. If you read an article that I wrote that maybe takes 20 minutes of your time, it means it was probably, like, I think he said 4 months of his life all the research that he has to do, and, the way he worked it out. He fact checks, he calls people, interviews, all that stuff. If you read one of his books, he says you have access to, and it takes about 5 hours to read his book, he said, you have access to 15 years of his mind. So I think what he's trying to say is that when you read the book, your mind is being filled fully with the other person's mind. You're exchanging your time for that author's mind to gain access to it. And, I'm not opposed to blog posts. I mean, we've written them. You and I both have written them and probably will again. But it's just a snippet, right? I mean, you're getting 700 words, 750 words of our thought. What can you say?
Right. And you're not getting all the same amount of research.
Yeah.
Like you're trading 5 hours of your time to read someone's book, and you're gaining 15 years of their insight.
Right.
15 years of their development.
Totally.
15 years of the way that their thought has been bouncing around and then come out to here, which then informs your mind, which then allows you to start shifting. But instead,
Hey, Warrior Saints, thank you so much for being with us. If you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, and share. It helps us get the word out there. And if you want more, visit us at warriorsaints.org and subscribe to Understanding the Bible. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.